All there we go. We've got sound. Understand this. Is that better? Let's see if that's working. Now that's not going to work. 'Cause why in the hell would it work? There's no sound. All right, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Let me bring this back over. Okay. Let's see if it works now. Let's see now if the sound is working. I can't figure that out. We will find out. We are not on Facebook. This Facebook is deciding to not work today, and I can't figure out why. Should be able to hear us now. Let's make sure that the sound is working. Ralph B., can you hear us? Good evening. Good audio. Okay, the audio is good now. Hey, Brian Mansker. Hey, Mike Green. And again, we are not going to be able to get onto Facebook tonight because for some reason Facebook is not allowing us to hook up. I don't know. You have sound. Well, now at least we have sound. So let's see how many YouTubers we get on tonight. If the people can't find it on Facebook, can they figure it out to come over onto YouTube? Welcome, Ricky, to the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. You said before.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Great Christmas.
It was great.
Great.
One of the better ones. This in the books again.
Everyone likes to have a white Christmas, but
We got
I don't really need it.
You don't like the dirt brown Christmas?
I just like the no white,
No way.
no shovel.
No shovel.
Yeah.
So you wanted a no shovel Christmas.
Yeah.
Feel bad for the snowmobilers.
Yeah. Don't buy. I know. I don't know how many years ago it was. It would have to be over 50 years ago. We used to get snow the middle of October. And we had small snowmobiles, right?
Right?
We would go snowmobiling like from right then right through, like every night, snowmobiling, snowmobile. Now, oh, you can remember when you were a kid, we used to go skating down on the rink here on the lake.
Already. By December.
No, November maybe.
Yeah, but by about the middle of November.
Be out there ice skating on the lake, not a pond, a lake. So I'm happy. As we go on, I don't want to shovel snow. I don't want to have to even start the snow blower up.
Yeah, but that means we could get snow until May now.
We could get a lot of snow.
Coming.
Last year, my snow blower, I think the thing broke down about 4 times all winter. Time for a new snow blower, but that thing's not that old.
She hasn't blown enough snow either. If you think about it.
It hasn't really. No. So then you start shoveling that heavy snow now, and the snow blower starts breaking down. And snowmobiling, even last winter here, we didn't have enough snow. Even if you had to snow blow your driveway, it was not enough to go with your.
Yep.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm past that stage.
I won't waste my money on a snowmobile anyway.
Well, snowmobile now, or whatever you call them.
They're a waste.
Snowmobiles.
Yeah. Just a waste.
It costs you 20 grand, maybe more, 25 grand.
To ride it a half a dozen times, and then you got to pretty much have a trailer with it. But anyways, we could go around.
I don't think I've been watching the weather up North Bay. What do you call it? Berks Falls.
I don't think they got enough snow either.
They don't even have enough snow up there. I can't believe it.
Huh.
But it could dump.
At any time.
It could dump, and then they're going to get a month and a half of snow, and it's going to cost them 25 grand for a snowmobile.
Waste of time.
It's wow.
Waste of what I think is time, but hey.
But we're not, right?
It is what it is. Hey.
What do you think, Ryan, about training young birds around the clock? I've had a lot of people ask me that, and what do I think about training young birds around the clock? What I mean is east, west, south, and north.
I think short. I think short's good. I think maybe anywhere from 1 mile to 5 miles. I think to get the brains kind of going a little. I don't think that's a problem. But then I think there's got to be a point though where you're gonna start to build the line of flight for them. I think. But I don't think. I know you're playing around with a few pigeons here now, and
don't. Hold on, please. Please do not stereotype me. I do not want to be stereotyped. So I'm going to tell you right now. Just stop.
Listen, can you get him as can you get him as Ricky Griswold 7? Get him as Ricky Griswold. Yeah. Where is Ricky Griswold? I thought you were going to have her on for that. I don't know.
I'm asking you a question right now.
And I'm giving you an answer.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Oh, you're fine. And then
I wouldn't be training around the clock
someone else
to build.
Actually asked me this question.
You did? Who?
When would you start doing this training?
I wouldn't train them until they're rambling.
Which would mean?
I don't know. Whenever you see that they're rambling. When they're flying, when they're not flying good, when you let them out and you don't see them no more, then they're rambling. There's a difference between they're flying good and they're rambling. Those are two different.
What's the difference?
I just told you. Flying good is flying around the loft.
Flying good.
That's flying around the loft. That's good.
I'm just trying to ask you the question.
I just gave you the answer, but you're not listening.
How would you describe that to a novice?
Yeah, flying good means they're flying around.
Flying in
my
the
God,
loft?
Can I answer before you keep fucking going around and around like a ding dong? Jesus, Murphy.
So.
Well, if I'm trying to explain it.
Well, explain it. Flying good.
Can I explain now?
Yeah, explain.
Flying good. When you let them out and they go for a fly and you see them for a half an hour or an hour flying around your house, up high, around, back and forth, and you see them, that's flying good. Now, what do I
So,
think
how
is
much time
is what you want to
should
see?
those birds? I had
No,
people.
I
call
didn't
me.
even finish, and yet you
Okay,
did. You opened your
finish.
yap
Then
again.
I'm going to show.
So
I'm
that's
gonna
flying.
ask you again.
That's flying good. But I think what you want to see is I let them out, and I haven't seen them in 45 minutes. That's now we're starting to ramble. We're starting to get self-educated. So there's two different flying. Now, you can just tell, eh? You can just tell he's on point tonight, eh? Go ahead, Ricky. I know you want to take to the reins. Go ahead.
You know, I have people ask me, when do you start training, and do you train on a straight line or around the block? Which way do you think is better for training, Ryan? You've been around a while. You should.
I think you
I've
could.
had some experiences, and you can ask me in my own opinion.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you can ask.
No,
me.
I don't have nothing to ask you. You're ready to go? Go.
No, I'm asking.
Go
you.
ahead.
I said, what do you think?
I said, I think you can train around the clock if you want. A little bit of that. I think that's good.
Does that start at the beginning?
Yeah, I think it's good at the beginning.
You do.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good. I think you can almost use it as basket training at the same time, getting used to it. I don't think you got to go very far. I think a mile or two around the clock is very good. And then I think, hey, get them online and away you go. What do you think, Richard?
Okay, Ryan, I would think you have a good idea, but I would think basket training is one thing.
Okay.
But if the birds prove to you that they are what we call, some people call it rambling,
Right.
ranging, loft flying, and they're gone for half an hour, you don't see them, they come back. Once they prove that, then I would do in the basket.
Then you do in the basket,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Okay. Then what would you do? Then would you do around the clock?
Then I think, because I've done a study on it,
Okay, hold on. But
and
but
I find going, and I've proven to myself
well, you haven't proved.
that, no, I have proven in this last bit here with some late breds I've been playing around with, that you take them a mile west and a mile east, a mile west and a mile east, then take them a mile south, only a mile. And these birds have been rambling, ranging, whatever they call it, going. They have a hard time picking that up. And also,
No.
hold on, I haven't been training in perfect days.
It's not. It's
Not
not.
in the rain.
It's not. It's not that they're having a problem
First
with
of
it.
all, don't
It's not.
raise your
You're
voice.
you're
at me.
saying they're having a problem. You're saying they're having a problem. Okay, they're having a problem. They're not. They're unexperienced. They're in a basket, and they're young, stupid, too much energy, and they're playing. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's not none of the above. It's just they're excited to
Yeah,
go.
I understand what you're
That's
saying.
all it is.
Ryan, I really appreciate your comment.
Yeah.
I like it, and I know what you're saying. They're playing.
They're just playing.
I'm saying when it takes them an hour to come from a mile,
Good. They were just out
they're
rambling.
just playing around.
They're just playing
Yeah,
around.
You're 100%
But
right.
I wonder if you.
But I think it's a good idea, because I had them.
I wonder.
I had them.
I
Just
wo-
hold on. Don't cut me off. I had them coming from a mile and a quarter. They were beating me home from the west. We don't fly west, but they don't know it. I didn't tell them, right? And beat me. I couldn't even friggin'. I'm not kidding you, folks.
Okay.
Get in the car.
Let's go.
Boom.
No, they beat you home.
Boom, boom. But then I changed the situation where I took them from west, I took them south, 1.25 miles. It'd take them an hour to come home.
Okay.
Right.
that's
So,
good.
yeah. So,
and they've been.
so do you think that's good for them, Ryan?
Sure, it's good.
I think
It's
so.
great.
Yeah.
If you would have taken them 3 miles further west or 5 miles further, they wouldn't have beat you home. They would have taken an hour because they're still stupid. That's it. They're still learning.
So that's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
Ryan.
you're
When
so
do they
stupid.
learn, actually?
When they're down the road enough times, till they get it right, till they get that out of their system. How many times does it take? 20 times? 30 times? How many times? I don't know. The more times in the basket, the sharper they become. Isn't that right? Wouldn't you think?
By the way, this script has been pre-written.
No.
So, no, 100%. I think
Sometimes
that's the only questions I
You
had
had some
people
good questions.
asking me these questions. They said, "Hey, Ricky, what do you do?" I said, "Okay, well, let's bring it up in the show." That's what I'm saying.
It was a good.
And do you think,
I think it was good.
initial question is, do you think, and a lot of people call me up, I get a lot of calls. I had a call this morning at 8:30 this morning.
It
Do you
hurts.
think it's good
It
to train around the clock young birds?
Sure.
And when do you think it's a
little
good
bit,
time?
A little bit. Anytime you want.
Anytime.
No, at the beginning. What the fuck? When you get them going down, you get them finally going good. What do you want to do? Start throwing more kinks into the system? No, do it at the beginning. Do a little bit at the beginning, sure. Oh, look, there's someone else going to ask you about
Calling
this.
me right now.
Oh, Sal.
London, Merry Christmas.
Sal's wishing you a Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you,
I
Sal.
thought Sal was going to ask you about training.
No. He
I don't even think we're on.
that's
I don't
what
think we're on. I think it's cut out. Let's see.
Just a question. Like a lot of
It
people
is.
aren't on. I just have a question for you for one or two people that are on.
Maybe
We
there's
wanna
nobody
know the
on.
answers
We're
to
trying
it.
to figure that out. Well, yeah, I don't have the answers, but you sound like you do.
No, I'm asking.
I don't-
Well,
I don't
I
know.
sound like I do because I do have the answers.
Right. So you have the
Okay,
answers.
so I'm asking a
Would-
interrogative answer.
Would you
question.
train pigeons to win around the clock for how many times would you do
Well,
it?
you apparently
Don't
you met some top-notch flyers in Belgium that say what?
There are guys that do the tour of Belgium. Yes, they race them around the clock. They do that.
Is that
yes.
short
Yeah, it's
distance?
just that's just short. That's for the end of the year. Why are you looking at me
for,
like
for
that?
the end of the year.
At the end of the year.
Oh. So
It's okay. I don't think we're on. I don't know. Again. I don't think tonight we're gonna make it because
no connection.
I don't know if there's no connection. We'll
No
have to-
connection.
No, I guess because we've been training around the clock, we're out of a connection. Funny, this afternoon everything connected good, but tonight no connection. Oh no. Oh, we're still on. Michael Green says we're still on.
Anyone else got a question on this or answers to it? Come on the show. Now let's talk about it. Just a simple question.
I think a little.
You know, I'm gonna admit, lightning may strike me dead.
If
but
it
I've
if it
never-
does,
hold on.
If it, oh, boy.
Lightning may strike me dead, but I've never trained around the clock.
Are you-
I've always
you're-
gone
you're
on a
so
straight
full-
line.
You're so full of shit.
No, I haven't.
Oh, come on.
No,
Okay.
I have not. I always try to train straight up the line. Now, I tried it with these late breds, and I'm finding 1.5 miles.
And
These
we tried it with one loft birds, and it was very, very difficult to race around the
So,
clock.
what does it prove?
What does it prove? Pigeons that are trained on a line through years and years and years and years, and everyone does the same thing. I do think the abilities are not as sharp.
Okay, I have a close friend.
Oh, why does everything have to be a friend? Who's your close friend? Yourself?
No, I won't. I won't say. But this person said to me, you have to bounce them around
No.
like this.
Okay.
like
And
this.
who was he?
Okay.
Who was he?
Who was he? This
Who-
is
who
Mike
was it?
Gannis.
No.
Mike Gannis, okay?
No.
Okay,
No.
you don't
No.
need-
Who
don't-
was it?
don't straight-
Did you ever
you don't
say
need
who?
to know
no,
my
but,
friend.
But okay. But what I'm saying.
Sheila Brzezinski.
Sheila Brzezinski. That's
Yeah,
right.
okay. So,
Now, did this person race? Did this person
It
race?
doesn't-
Did the person race pigeons? That's the next question.
first of all,
No, the
person
person did.
has done very
Oh,
good with
come
the
on!
birds.
I know who you're talking about, and you're so full of shit.
No,
Guess what?
you
Take your
don't-
glasses
don't-
off so
don't-
they
don't
can,
take-
so we can show the people your
Don't-
eyes.
Don't. Take
I'm
my-
not going
my
on.
close
I'm
friends.
not going on about your close
No,
friends.
I'm just saying I
Yeah.
proved it.
Ding dongs
The
that don't even have
pigeons-
clappers that
I'm
can't even
just
fly.
saying.
Oh, forget it. All right, I'm moving on from this subject because I'll tell you something. It's painful. It's painful. You know what you do? You take the one-off birds in, you take them in, and you train them around the clock. You'll be left with 50 pigeons that'll do it. That's it. Again, you just look for the 1%ers. That's all it is. But you'll lose them real quick. You will.
I'm not asking about one lot.
I'm just saying, try it with a group of people's birds, and you'll see what happens.
I don't know what you're doing.
We've already tried it before.
Okay, guess what?
It's
Let's
torture.
move on. Get somebody else on the show. What do they want? Here, Mansker racing.
Okay,
but
I'll
as
just
soon
let
as
me read
they
the
start
comments here,
ranging, you can start them around the clock
if you choose.
if you choose.
If
And
you
I've
choose.
just asked you the
Right,
question.
you can.
Do you
Are you
think
gonna build speed on that way? I don't think you're gonna. I think you're gonna build them up to get them thinking a little bit. I think it's fine.
I think you may build more intelligence
More intelligence,
on the birds.
less
I
speed, and more intelligence. Okay.
No.
Uh,
do you ever go to Europe and talk to people
God
that
damn it.
train around the clock?
No,
No.
no, no, I don't. I don't. Who have I told you trains around the clock? Do you have someone? No.
Yeah.
Alan, the way I learn is when I leave the loft in one direction and come home from the opposite direction a half hour later. Also down 3 flights. Well, I think pigeons, they ramble the best from their first flight to their third flight because I think that's the age of rambling, so that makes sense. You see that the most. And yes, you go from one direction across to the other and you don't see them. They're just doing short training. And I think if you want to put them in the car and do a little bit of short training around the clock, I don't think you're going to hurt them. I think you're giving them a little bit of basket training, a little bit of car training, and just coming from different direction, which they should have already been coming from when they're out rambling. Now, if you want to get on a plan and say, let's start taking them 20 miles that way, and then get them 20 miles that way, and then get them 20 miles that way, and then get them 20 miles that way, you can do that too.
I'm just saying, Ryan,
But-
the hell with it, man. Don't take them 20 miles. Take them 100.
You see what you have
Yeah,
left.
I'm just saying.
Okay,
Do you not get smarter birds?
Wait.
How many birds? I'm saying I'm just experiencing with late breds, which have been flying, just in short switches. They can't handle it.
But we've taken young birds short. Sometimes they'll come from 2 miles in 2 minutes. You take them to 5 miles and they take half an hour. Why? They're out farting around. I don't know.
So you don't think it's an education thing?
I think anytime they go in the basket, it's an education thing.
What'd you say?
Well, when you get your ears cleaned,
Yeah,
then
I'm
you'll
just
hear
saying,
me.
you're a bit loud.
I'm not loud, but you're asking the same dumb question
I'm just
around
saying,
and around.
You think it's a waste of time then?
No, I don't think it's a waste of time, but I don't think it's
You don't think it's beneficial?
a little bit beneficial.
Oh,
but
it is. So it's not a waste of
Oh,
time.
God almighty. I think you do whatever the hell you want. That's it.
But I think, like Buddy said, they're starting to range, ramble. They can start moving around. Rambling is actually the same effect.
Okay, now I think this is.
But I almost approved it. I proved
You
it.
haven't proven it yet.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't. Okay, take them back. You know what? When they came home today after their shit hour performance of learning and playing, put them back in the basket, go back to that spot and do it again. Right away. See if they take another hour. When they come again, if they don't do it in a minute and a half, take them back again until they do it right. And they'll come straight.
They're fooling around. That's
That's
good.
right.
I'm
They're
just asking you a
learning.
question.
They're
Do you
learning.
think it's beneficial? I'm only
Sure.
saying about a mile around the place. 2
Sure,
miles
if you
around.
don't train them, you're not educating them. So whatever you feel is good. Mark Carnwell says, and I think this is I don't know if this is the right comment, but let's see. I think it's more important to teach them to break from the flock. I don't think pigeons break from flocks. I think you create the flock. You create the drag, and the dummies follow you. I don't think when real pigeons are together, I don't know if they're really breaking or the leaders, they pull to where they're going to go. I don't know. I think if you have it's like when we have here, remember we had we had the Pioneer trailer there. We had Ross's birds with ours. We had Frank's birds with ours. We had other guys' birds come with ours. We had Chrissy's birds come with ours. They followed the group. They didn't break. But they didn't break because why? They weren't set up to lead the flock, to be the power in the group. That's what I think.
I think setup is condition.
That's right.
And condition is mentally
And physically.
and physically
Right.
conditioned.
Now, how do you get them mentally? You have to put work
you
into
have to
them.
work and train them.
Right.
That's right.
That's
right.
right. Because if
So what I'm saying is, I'm just playing around with training them a little bit around the block. You got them in condition, but mentally
they're still not
they
ready.
can't be fooled.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They know.
Right.
So
And it's funny, sometimes by the time you get out to 20 miles or 25 miles, you've gone out 10 or 12 or 15 times training, all of a sudden they start to come good. But you ever notice they can be coming great from 2 miles, they can do all the 2 miles, all the 10 miles, all the 20 miles, they're doing it great. Then one day you take them to 20 miles, you let them out, you lose half the birds or they disappear. Because you know why? They didn't learn nothing yet. They didn't get in with other birds.
Yeah.
They didn't learn.
I had another person call me up, and they said, "Hey Ricky, how you doing? Fine, everything's good. What do you think about single tossing your pigeons?" And I think Mike Vanderyak had a good point on that.
Okay.
What do you think? We're gonna go back to that right now.
Sure, single toss. Sure, because you're just adding. I don't think you have to do tons of it, but I think a little bit is fine. I think it's good. You teach them to think themselves. Think instead of let out 50 and 4 of them are doing the thinking, and the other ones look good, but really, what are they doing? They're just coming for the ride.
So you believe in that as well?
I think if you train them down into smaller groups,
You've
you're
met
going to get.
people that have done
Sure,
that as
yeah.
well.
David Tracy said, when I was working and didn't have time to train, I set my birds on the delivery truck, which went 40 to 50 miles all directions, and the birds flew very well in the combine. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, believe if you have them on the right feeding, they're smart. They don't get fooled.
You're teaching them to, use more of their brains,
Yeah.
right? But, I don't know. I don't think I would do it, but a little bit, sure. Just my thought. It's the same like single tossing. There's guys that say, no, I'm not single tossing, it's too much work. Or double tossing, or 5 birds, or whatever, it's too much work. But is that a stone that hasn't been turned? that you should do. But you have 100 youngsters. How do you single toss them? And I don't give a shit what Mike Vanderyak says. Let them out 1 minute apart. And I'll just sit there and get together. So let's be straight. First time single tossing. The first time you take them single tossing, and they've always been flying in a group. They've always been flying in a group. They're going to go up and just sit there and spin. And every minute you let it another one, the group gets thicker and thicker and thicker. That's it. Because there's no such thing as 1 minute apart and they come separate. That's just... That's a dream. And I've still said to Mike, you show me you birds can do that. For every bird that does it, I'll give you $100 that come in between a minute apart as you let them out. No way. But I think it's a nice idea. Sounds good. That sounds easy. We train as a club this year. The first 3 or 4 tosses were disasters. After that, they came good. Yeah. First, because they had to learn. And I would never, I'll be honest, I never train in a club. I'm not going to train my birds with nobody else. No.
So
I don't like it.
can I ask you a question? You don't mind, do you?
Sure.
What happens if you put your 30 pigeons
Uh-huh.
in a liberation?
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying here.
Anywhere. Somewhere in the world.
50,000 birds.
Well, that's different.
Okay, so no, I'm just saying.
Okay. What's your
Okay,
point?
so what's the best way to do that? Had somebody else call me on that one.
What's the question? I don't even know what your question is.
To train your birds to liberate.
How can you train for that?
No, well.
You're in that shit storm, and that's what you do.
Just said something.
No, he
But
said we
answer.
train as a club
Yeah. So what's that
this
mean?
year. I don't know. He trained in his club. He trained with his guys in his club.
How many?
I don't know. Let's say 1 million birds. Trained with 1 million birds.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No, Dad, I don't know. It's club. 10 members, 5 members, 3 members. Whatever the club is.
Yeah. So I'm saying, how do you train for that episode of life?
What do you mean? How do you train for that episode?
I'm saying.
I wouldn't train my birds with other guys' birds. I'm not interested in that.
So what happens?
Because if their birds are more key,
just in an argument.
if
it's
their
not
birds,
me.
if
I had
their
somebody call me up.
stop with these people who call you.
Yeah, they call me up.
No,
and they ask me,
you don't
Ricky, what would I do with my birds if I'm training to be liberated in a 50,000 bird liberation or 2,000 bird liberation? So this guy here has got a club of what, 36 birds?
No, I don't know.
100 birds?
I don't know. Let's say 4 members in his club.
4 members, 100 birds.
Right.
Okay, and the first few tosses he got kind of screwed up. Okay, so what would he do to correct
8
that?
members and 150
Yeah.
birds.
Okay.
So
Well,
I wouldn't train.
Let's say 200 or 300 birds.
Number one, I don't give a shit if I'm flying with 50,000 pigeons or 20 pigeons.
That's what I'm saying. What would he do
I
to
just-
correct that?
I just train them on my own.
So what would he do?
What are you doing to correct what? What are you correcting?
No, he wants to
I wanna-
liberate with his club.
Okay, you can do that. That's something I'm not doing. I got reasons on why I'm not training with the club. If my birds aren't in the physical condition, aren't in the mental condition, when I train them with birds that are
what would he do to train to liberate with his club?
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't.
So then when it goes
I'm not interested.
Okay, when it goes to the combine,
I wouldn't. When it's time to race, I put them on the combine. Because by that time, I've got them, so they're physically good, they've been mentally worked, and they should be thinking like leaders. When they're not ready, and I take them and dump them with other guys' birds, and the other guys' birds got their birds in better condition or better mentally trained, my birds learn the habit of follow.
So you don't believe,
That's what I'm saying.
You believe that prior to that, you can have those birds trained to be.
I can't say I can have them ready, but I can have them thinking, not as a follower, less as a follower.
How do you? How does that work?
By training them a certain way, by training to a certain level. And yes, Mark said it got better with training. Yes, because the birds, they get better as it goes. Gets better as it goes.
Do you know how it gets better? I've kind of wrote up a scenario on this. Is basically you lose the weak birds.
Yeah.
That's it.
You lose the
Just-
weak birds, and
Just
if you're,
hold on, let
you-
me finish. It's like
it's funny when
It's
I'm
like-
talking, you're ramming down my throat, cutting me short.
I just asked you.
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to answer, and you fucking cut me off and ram your shit down my throat. So now I try and cut you off. Ooh, give me a minute. So go, take the floor.
No, I'm just saying. I think if you wait until that day, you're going to put them in with the group, your large group. You're really going to lose if you put in 40 birds. You're going to lose
What are you talking?
10 birds.
You might, if they're not trained right.
Wow, training. The other things, birds when training, Ryan. If you're training in your own group, they follow the group. So in that group, you only have so many birds that have the strength in the group. The rest of them, they just follow.
Okay.
And the idea is to shake those followers before you get into that
Right.
situation. And if you, okay, you can say, oh, well, I took 30, 40 birds, bang, they all came, boom, 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 no problem. Now, I got them on a line, boom, 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 no problem. I didn't turn them around the block, boom, 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 no problem. Soon you put them in that first race,
They learn.
you lose 5.
You lose 5.
10.
Right. And if your training is going good, you will have multiple times in your training where you let them out and they didn't come straight home. They got all busted up and they came in 1s and 2s. When you have those tosses, you cut down and they get smarter. And when you go to the first race, they already understand what the group is. But I'm not interested in really training them with other people.
That's where some of that single tossing comes in.
Right.
That's where
Around the clock.
around the clock
Right.
comes in. That's where, like, this person called me up and they just say, this morning, as a matter
Okay,
of fact.
I don't need the story about the nobody who called you. I don't need that story.
Well, I'm just saying.
But you're why do you have to tell me every time it isn't in a story?
It's not a story. It's fact.
It's not fact. Oh shit!
No, I'm just saying. People call me
Okay.
up and they ask me these
And
things.
you repeated that
And
again.
then I thought it was a good point to
Okay.
bring up on the show, Ryan.
Good point.
You understand me?
Are pigeons well trained if you've trained them 10 times? Are they well trained? If they're beating you home, if you've trained them 10 times, are they well trained? That's my question for you.
They're well trained 10 times at 10 miles. They are well trained. But
Are they well
that-
trained
that's
as
where,
pigeons?
Where I'm saying,
No,
shake them up.
They're still
not.
they're still shit.
That's right.
Right.
Put them 2.5 hours on the wing,
How-
and then you'll see.
How did we get into talking about training now?
Because I'm asking you, people call me, and that's it. What am I gonna do? They call me and they ask, please,
If
Ricky,
you,
will
if,
you
you,
ask
if,
this
if,
question?
if you want his number,
They
it's
asked me-
416-891-2518.
I got a call this morning at
8:30 for chicken eggs. We
chicken
know.
eggs. I got a call at 10 after 8.
You were
And
opening
I
Christmas
appreciate
gifts
that.
and people were calling you. It was amazing.
No Christmas gifts. No, I'm not
No.
into that.
Anyways, this is incredible.
No, I'm just asking the question. This
And I
starts
think
the
I
show up.
think
Now,
I gave you the
uh,
answers.
well,
Well,
those are some puns in there. Let's get going on the show now.
how many pairs? Here's a question. ABC Law says, how many pairs you need to breed 50 young birds in proper time?
Well,
many pairs?
I'll give you an answer.
How many pairs you need?
Put a pair of pigeons together, proven.
Right.
The 20th of February,
Right.
and by the 20th of May,
Mm-hmm.
had 4 pair of young ones.
4 pairs.
And raised themselves. I never switched them.
So that's
So-
four
so-
four
so-
pair. So let's say, so middle of February, middle of March, middle of April, middle of May.
Pair of youngsters.
4 months, 4 pair of youngsters, and those ones you could easily, we took them right out to 300 miles. So that's 1 pair gave you 4 rounds.
Yeah.
That's 4 rounds is how many? 2, 4, 6, 8.
By May, those youngsters were only this large. You couldn't train them.
Right?
You understand?
I
That pair there, I'm telling you, that pair, they're healthy. Soon the youngsters are like 16 days old.
yeah.
The pair was driving
and-
to go back on nest, and I took the youngsters away right away.
I was watching, and I hate to say this, I was watching a guy, in a guy, I shouldn't mention his name, a guy
Yeah, you don't
who
wanna
does
mention his
does YouTube shows. He's in the New York area, New York City. You know, and he's talking. He's talking. He's got, you know those stupid cages? You know the cages you can buy, and we sell them here.
Oh yeah.
They're the sick pen birds.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they're like.
They're double stacked. You
hospital
guys can
cages.
see them. Jed sells them. You got 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
they're-
5, 6. They have cards. Beautiful. They're meant to keep hens separate while they're waiting for cocks,
Birds
or a
that
bird
aren't
come
wild.
come in. Okay, fine. You want to hold the bird in a cage.
Right.
They're not meant to breed. This guy is breeding pairs in these cages. Okay. What Richard's saying, ABC Loft, is you ain't going to breed 4 successful rounds in something like that. You got to be in a loft. You got to be in a nice. The environment has to be in good, as Mike Vanderyak would say, good. What is it? Harmonious.
You can't breed them out of the trunk of your car.
Right. So,
Right.
you know, and a lot of these guys, they're so, I call it, up the ass with individual breeding pens. But they can't build an individual breeding pen because you want to know why? They don't have the room, right? So what they do is they got these guys that have no clue to buy these cages and they're breeding birds in it. When you take the pigeons out, they're assholes. Spray you with shit because they're so backed up. Now, I was in Thailand. Okay? These guys are playing for big money. And me and Emil Denny's, we both said to each other, could you imagine? The guy had all the birds waiting to be paired, extras, in a beautiful big loft. Birds could go back and birds could go forth. And they had 150 pairs in rabbit cages. The common thing we seen was only 1 youngster in the nest. 1 youngster in the nest. Dirty eggs. Taking a pair out, holding a pair, and seeing explosion shits.
Oh yeah, I know.
And I'll tell you, the quality of the youngsters, you could see it. The parents were done.
I'm just saying with pairs that I've had, soon the youngsters are about 16, 18 days old. The cock's starting to drive the hen and wants to go back to nest. Take those youngsters right out, and the pair goes back down. And those youngsters learn quickly. They're weaned early. They learn quickly how, number one, they take me as the foster parent.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But so I'm saying, you asking me 3 to 4 pairs.
Take them out or not. Yeah, let's say we say 4 pairs a bit fast. You should get 3 rounds easy in 4 months. Easy. And that's what you figure out. How many pairs you need. 10 pair, 8 pair, 12 pair. You should have 50 babies. No problem. Ralph B says, what's the best percentage for breeders? What's the best protein percent? I think if you're 19 to 22% protein, I think that's good. I think it's
So
good to have.
you can't get that on a regular feed. You got to go buy turkey grower pellets and add that in.
Yeah.
And you're going to get that. If you're going to feed a regular grain, you won't get that.
No.
You're going to get your peas and your beans, faba beans. You're only going to get 12, 14% max.
Oh.
If you go to a turkey grower pellet, that's what I use, you're going to get 19%. And I don't feed that
Straight.
I don't, I feed like, maybe I might feed 20% of the feed. like, you know what
Of
I
the
mean?
pellet.
I mix my own, yeah.
Right. And I think
And I get beautiful youngsters, and it teaches the pigeons. Number one, they can eat that. Number two, they learn to eat the regular grains, which is good for them.
well, and again, you still
Right.
got to give them fats. You still got to give them carbs. You
Well,
still got to give them.
fats, yeah, I give them soybeans. I give them
Well,
pellets. I give them barley. I give them wheat.
give them
I give
corn.
them corn. Right?
Some safflower.
And that's it.
Yeah.
A bit of safflower. I mix that all in.
Right.
I do it myself.
Right.
And I have perfect young birds.
And again, you see these breeding mixes. I could go anywhere and look. Baden's breeding mix, whatever. You see all the peas and everything. Okay? All the peas. And the guys are feeding the feed, and the pigeons are leaving the feed. Pigeons don't want to eat all those peas. We tried it with soybeans. If you give them too much soybean, the parents pump the youngsters nice, beautiful. But the soybeans don't absorb the moisture. And if the pigeons...
No, they absorb the moisture, Ryan.
The
soybeans.
young pigeons that are getting pumped.
But-
the young pigeons don't get pumped enough water for those soybeans.
Because the soybean absorbs
All-
too much moisture.
Right. And so
you
the
gotta-
crops get hard.
Yeah, Ryan, you have to calculate how much soybean to feel.
Okay,
Like to
good
feed.
question. Will you feed roasted soybeans again this year? Yes, we will.
Yes.
But if you're feeding them to your breeders, they want 2%. And I wouldn't feed them to the breeders while they're pumping youngsters.
Yeah, well,
Or a little bit, sure, but you wouldn't feed them 20% soybean.
no, you wouldn't.
2%, sure. A couple fistfuls in there, good.
That's right.
That way the soybean can go in, but the parents don't pack them, so when they get the moisture, the beans take it, and the bird gets no moisture. Anyways, LJ says, why the explosion shits when small cage breeding? Is it because the parents don't want to shit near the nests? It's just a movement thing.
No, it's 100%.
Yeah, but it's
Do
a
you want,
movement.
ask a question. Do you want to shit in your bedroom?
No.
No. So you have them in a small cage. It's like
They-
100%.
They back up. You can even see it here. You'll see it even on our show. Sometimes we're doing the auction. I'll take the bird out of the widowhood basket. Maybe the bird got basketed the night before. It's been in the basket for 8 hours, 10 hours, maybe 20 hours. Take it out. You're doing the show, and all of a sudden, he lets go. So you can see, and we've tried it in those small little cages. We did a test on 8 pairs. It was a disaster.
That's why I'm always doing a test run.
Well, everything is
I did-
about
I did-
how do you learn?
I'm testing.
And I'm watching
And-
I'm watching these guys, and we have to say, who are they, right? Just like who are we? Promoting these cages and breeding in these little boxes, I hate to say it, it's giving people complete no good. It's just not good. And hey, there will be pairs that will breed. But if you put 20 pairs in those little cages, you'll see.
I just going back to this training business.
ABC Lofts has a question before we go
my,
into training.
My friend Roman.
Okay, I'm not even talking about this.
I'm just going to
Okay,
talk
can I-
about him.
can I- I have a question.
buddy.
I got a different question.
Go
We'll
ahead.
talk about Roman. What you think about birds being sold online, pigeon auctions? Were they pedigrees have no performance, only some famous names, and great parents? Well, I think that's great for dummies. I think that's great for someone that says, I want a Van Loon. I think it's great for someone that says, I want a Stickabout. I think it's great for someone that says, I want a Wolverine.
No, what's a Wolverine?
Right. What is it?
What's a Catrice?
What's any of them? You're looking for performance.
What's a 69 Mustang against an X7XX Corvette 19 or 2024?
Right.
Okay, what is it? Yeah. It was good.
Okay, so
Okay, but
so
I'm just saying it
so,
was good.
ABC, what you're asking me is famous names. You can get lured in by those names. You can get lured in by the pedigree.
I have to
You can
laugh.
get lured in.
I am laughing right now.
Can I finish?
At a lot of people that say
God.
I have Jansen blood.
Can I finish what I was saying?
I'm sorry, but
You keep cutting me down here, or cutting me off. Do you want a piece of ham? No. I'm just saying. Look at what you're buying. Take the names out. Get rid of all the names. Get rid of the names. Let's look at the performance of the actual pigeons you're buying. Let's take a look at the actual parents, what they won. Let's actually take a look at the grandparents and what they've actually won. And then we say, oh, this is all very good. Lots of performance, wins. Now let's look at what in the heck's the bloodline. Next question Alan asks on YouTube. Alan says, 3 parts breeding mix, 1 part pellet.
it's good.
It's good. And again, I think when you're feeding, try and get most of the feed cleaned up by the breeders eating it. If you're feeding...
I'm not breeding now.
No,
I
but
got
if
my
you're
birds.
breeding 5 pair of pigeons, don't put down feed for 100 pigeons. Put it down for, if you got 10 pigeons, put it down for 10 or 12 or 14 pigeons.
I go right now for my stock birds. I go in and I feed them a cup full of straight barley to start.
Right?
And then I walk out there, and if that barley's not gone, they don't get no more feed.
Right.
That's it. Done. So, you know what I mean. And my pigeons just glow. And you've seen with any pigeons that we have, they're just glowing. In other words, hate to say it, but you gotta know to be a chef. It's kind of like a chef in your loft. You get what I'm saying? It's like a chef. Okay? For example,
Okay, we don't need a story, but...
not a story, but my wife and I have been married 52 years, and I can give my wife an onion and a piece of bread, and she'll make a beautiful meal. So that's what I'm saying, and we'll eat it, and we're all healthy. So I'm saying, I feed the damn things barley to start.
Here. Ice.
That's it. If I come back and there's any barley left, to get no more feed.
Right. And when you're...
Some guys will say,
think-
well, I feed all my feed, and if there's barley left, I'm just saying, respect me. And if I walk to the fly
We're
pen...
talking about, though, when you're breeding.
Oh, breeding.
Yeah. You didn't listen to what I said.
No, I heard what you're saying.
I'm saying if you're going to feed breeders, and you got 5 pair, right, and they all got 2 youngsters, right, feed accordingly. Don't feed for 100 pigeons, because they're going to pick out what they like, and the floor is going to be full.
Be full of,
Right.
yeah.
Again, everything that you buy the Versalaga,
Or Johnny's Mix.
Johnny. No, I'm just using mixes that the ding dongs know.
Oh, we have a ding dong up the road.
Well,
he mixes
you're a
Johnny's
ding
Mix.
dong. You cut me off again.
Johnny's Mix.
I don't know who Johnny is, but whoever Johnny is, you got the Versalaga mix, you got the Van Robies mix, you got their breeding mixes. Everything in those mixes, it's meant to be eaten. Not to say my birds don't like the peas. My birds don't like the wheat. My birds don't like this. Nuh-uh. It's in there. Eat it. If they're not cleaning it up, it's okay. Leave them. They'll clean it up. When it's clean, we're going to give more feed. But we're going to wait till it's clean, because feed is too much money.
What I'm saying, if you don't mind me interrupting, Ryan, it's like feeding your children at the table.
Yeah.
You put this,
Eat it.
eat it. If you don't eat it, well,
You're
yeah,
not,
it's
you're
the
not
same-
hungry.
it-
You're
it's
not
the-
hungry enough.
That same kind of atmosphere.
And I think the other thing is, when you feed, and the birds are eating all the feed, They get a palate to eat the feed. They get a palate, a taste. They want to eat this. They want to eat that. For instance, pigeons don't want to eat white peas. That's not the pigeons don't want to eat the white peas. It's you're a bad feeder. Because they got too many choices, and you know what? There's too much feed. They eat the white peas. They eat barley. They eat the barley with husk on. They eat sunflower seeds with the shell on, and they'll eat whole peanuts and french fries. But you have to know. They have to eat it. You have to teach them to eat it. You have to be a little strict. David Tracy says, just buy from Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions to get breeding pigeons. If your birds, Al asks, or says, if your birds are in the nest, are squirting, giving parents a handful of peas before the main feed, are squirting, giving
that means they're eating.
If
and
your
they're
birds
getting
are,
too much water.
if your birds in the nest are squirting, give parents a handful of peas before the main feed. Yeah, I don't know.
I never done that before.
I don't know. I think I don't like when the youngsters are shitting in the nest and the nest bowls are wet. I see that. That's a bad sign. And I don't like when parents are pumping water. That's a bad sign. And I'll tell you, I've bred on the most expensive breeding mix. Good. And I've bred, like we've talked about, on mixes that 99% of you wouldn't breed on. And the youngsters come out super good too. And I'll tell you, if I start seeing squirting and liquid in that, I know something not right. And I don't know. Those youngsters, if you clean the box there where they're shitting, it should always be nice shits. Should be. None of that slime. Give them salt, Lord of the Hill. Yeah, and I think if you're giving grits and minerals, and we can say again, the Van Roby's Pail of Grit or the Byers or the Versalaga, there are salts in those, and if you want, you can give salt yourself, the sea salts, the pickstone salts, the salt blocks. The birds will lick it. They need a little bit of salt. Remember, a pigeon in the wild, he gets everything he needs when he needs it. They fly, they get it. They're all in one bucket. He's out in Mother Nature.
Okay, so I'm just going to throw a question at you, Ryan.
Alan says it works every time, the
Okay,
peas.
just hold on. How many pigeons in the wild? We haven't done a study on this.
No.
But if a pair has 5 pair of young ones in a year, right? They start pairing the middle of January.
Yeah.
Soon the light changes.
Yeah.
They'll have 5, maybe 6 pair of youngsters. We haven't done a study.
No.
How many nests survive?
Great.
So what I'm saying is, the first nest, because it's going to hatch in February, the parents can't get the feed properly, snow, whatever. 1 youngster, 2 youngsters, 1 dies. Right? By May, March, April, they have another round.
Live.
Maybe so. I'm just saying, what is the stats? And the thing is, the youngsters that live are going to be the strong ones.
Right.
Right. Because, and like we're saying, oh, well, feed a nest, and you know what, they got the squirts or whatever. Yeah.
I know.
You know, I'm just kind of saying, well, you can't be. I'm giving you good feed. You don't have to go into the field to find the snow.
Your water's clean.
Clean water.
You're not drinking out of a puddle with horse shit in
all
it.
this stuff.
I know.
Yeah, it's almost like you gotta kind of say like,
Like you're almost thinking to yourself, why do you got the squirts? You know what I think you need? I think you need the garbage pail. That's what I think you need. Because you can't. But hey, if like Alan says, he uses the peas, he finds it tightens them up a bit. Hey, you learn all kinds of things that might help someone. I know one thing when I'm looking at and breeding pairs. If everyone else is good and this youngster here's this pair is weak, why are we weak? There's no reason for this. I'm not giving you peas. I'm not giving you a canker tablet. I'm not going to pat you on the bum and say, let's go, because you know what? Once I get you down the road,
you're
you
done.
ain't going to make it. But, hey, David Tracy says,
I
something is wrong with the young birds if they have the squirts. Should be round, stiff droppings. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are the feed companies lying to make money, or do we need their breeding mixes? Well, you know, guys, I'll tell you something. There's a bodybuilder by the name of Ronnie Coleman. This guy, he was 300 pounds. Muscle, Mr. Olympiad, he set all the records. He did it in the 90s, the late 80s and 90s. He won 9 Mr. Olympiads. The man's diet, yeah, maybe there were some steroids, fine, but the man's diet was base. Chicken, rice, rump. There were 7 things the man was eating. He was eating eggs, eating. He stick to a certain diet. Now, fun fact, they sat him down and they showed him the Mr. Olympiads of today. He sat there in the chair and he laughed. He says, none of these men are in condition. Look at this guy's got a bit of a gut on him. This guy, the muscles aren't defined. These are big men. He's cutting them down like a tree. And he said it. They got all now this modern day shit and they can't get it right. They can't get it right and they don't put the work in to get it right. I think the feed mixes, the companies help you out. But I think you could win races. But you need to know what feeds to feed. You need to know what carbs to give, what fats to give, what proteins to give, when to give them.
I do think that it is a business in that
There is.
respect. I know up the road here, Edwards Feed.
Can you grab me some ice?
Excuse me. Yes, Edwards Feed.
I'll get it. That's
And
good.
they're selling this Joe. What's his name? Joe Ferreira Feeds. They got a mix. This Edwards guy, he doesn't know anything about keeping pigeons. Nothing. But he knows that this Joe Ferreira does pretty good in this so-called combine. And now Joe said, I'll mix you a feed. So now people are want to go and buy Joe Ferreira feeds. Okay, wait. I'm sorry, but okay, you know, I'm just kind of looking like, oh yeah, really? Okay, who the hell is this? So you got Baden's feeds. They're doing the same thing. Baden doesn't know the difference between a chicken and a donkey. But he's selling Baden's feeds because he figures, I'll throw some peas in, I'll throw this in, I'll throw this in. A lot of that feed goes in and comes out. Okay? But I'm feeding that feed. So that's what I'm saying.
Now,
so
out of all the feed companies, we sold the Versalaga feed, very nice. I never sold Van Roby's feed. But the difference between the two feed companies was Van Roby's actually had pigeon superstars using mixes before the mixes were put online for people to buy, and guys were getting big national wins on these feeds. And they have people that study the mix, study the grains for it's all being in one. And there's guys winning on these mixes. Now, just because you buy the mix That don't mean you're gonna win.
Doesn't mean,
But
just hold on. Doesn't mean when I get that mix and I see it, guess what? I'm gonna add a little bit of my own shit
right.
into that mix. I'm gonna cut that mix down a bit. I'm gonna do this and that.
But
you know
but
that
but-
that I know what you're saying.
but
Do they feed
what I'm saying is they feed the mixes. They feed it. They've done studies on the mixes, and they're studying with real pigeon guys that win. Okay, Versalaga don't do that. They don't. They make the mixes by the guy in the back room studying,
I understand.
not with the
I
actual
understand.
pigeon man winning. Anyways, Alan says the same idea. The soybeans absorb the water. So when the birds were, Alan's saying when the birds are squirting a little bit, he finds soybeans or peas a little more absorbs the water. Again, my question is why aren't the parents pumping the right amount of feed to them and not over pumping them with water? There's something a little off on that. I'm not saying with you, Alan. I'm saying I'm trying to analyze why is the youngster shitting water. Okay, or whatever.
Yeah, I find that
Good comment though.
that question there. I'm finding that. Yeah, when the season gets to be about July.
Warmer.
If you've got warmer season, the parents have already raised 3 or 4 rounds of youngsters, and you get that July group, and it seems to be the parents. I guess maybe my lack of grits or something. Something happens there. They lose their punch, and then once you get to the end of August, it comes back. In other words,
Yeah.
those late August youngsters
There's
from the same parents.
Normally, it's the fourth round is always a little off. A little they dip.
But
I will. This is another question. We got some comments. Great comments here tonight.
well, thank you, Ryan.
I'm talking about the people, not you.
No. But I started off with the roundabout training,
Yeah.
and now we're getting this.
I was thinking this. I wonder in the wild pigeons that go out all day long and exercise. I wonder when they hit round 4 if there's a dip for them. I would think because they've concentratedly pumped 3 rounds of youngsters, right?
Yeah.
The lofts are normally not that big. There's not a lot of room, not a lot of exercise.
What they?
The stock birds,
Yeah.
right? They're not getting all the little wild seeds outside in the grass and the bugs into this. They don't get that. I think you see the dip there. I think. Hold on, we have another question. ABC says, do we need
Excuse
to?
me. I just yawned.
Thanks for cutting me off there again. I'm
No,
reading.
I'm just saying. Excuse me.
Thirsty. Do we need to give new nest bowls for each round? Now, new nest bowls, I think, listen, I bred last year in those individual breeding sections. I had 2 nest bowls on the go. What I did was the nest bowls were completely empty. There was nothing in it except a nest pad. And every day I put a little bit of nesting material. The pairs would build the nest. The pairs are sitting on their first round. I take the second nest bowl, I put it up on the next shelf with the nest pad in. The pairs, again, I start putting nesting material. Even though they got babies in the nest, they're going and building the nest. A little bit of motivation. That's good. Boom, they're into the next nest. When that nest was gone, I looked. Maybe, hey, I clean the nesting, leave the nest pad in, take the nesting material away, take the bowl away. They're sitting, hatched. Once the babies got banded, I put the nest bowl back in. Same nest pad, a little bit of nesting materials. The pairs went again, make a nest. They're building, a little bit of motivation. I think it's good. I don't think you have to change the nest bowls. I don't think you have to wash them and disinfect them. And I don't think so. I don't think you do. I don't think it makes a difference. But I do think, giving them nesting materials, I think it helps stimulate them. What do you think, Ricky?
I thought you were never going to ask me, right? I actually think in my loft. That'll give you the answer.
Okay. Yeah. You don't change the nest bowls. I get
I
that.
don't change the nest bowls. I don't. I let the shit build, and that's it.
Right.
They want to take little products in there, they take it in. And if I get mice, drill holes in the bottom of the nest, they drill them in. That's it. I don't do that shit.
Okay.
I got healthy youngsters. I know what you're doing, Ryan.
Nope.
But to me, it sounds like a lot of friggin' bullshit.
Okay.
Okay? Right?
Well,
I'm more a natural immunity. I know than what you are.
What we're saying is, there's not very many that do it your way at all, and they'll think you're absolutely whacked out. Do you think you need to change nest bowls? No, you don't.
No.
No, you don't. You don't. Actually, you don't even have to put nest bowls in.
I know
you want to get
the old
really
the old saying
tough.
was CL Gage said to me some years ago, and I was already doing this shit. He said the best nest is the 6th round of youngsters in the nest. That's the best. Because, I don't know, it aerates, and I believe it. I do believe it. I do believe it. I don't play around with that. I don't do that shit. That's it. You know, I know what Ryan's saying, but I don't play around with that shit. I just go, that's it.
Okay. You don't have to.
No,
You
I don't have to.
You don't have to. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to.
No, but this you don't.
You
if
don't
you
have
want,
to.
If you want to do it, do it. But I don't do it.
Right. Okay.
Do you want to see pictures of my nest boxes?
No.
Still from last year. There's shit in there.
I've some pairs that just raise good babies together, then change them to different pairings and get real nice babies. There you go. Alan says they're thirsty. Yeah, well, they're thirsty if they're pumping. I don't know. They should be sort of pumping even, I think. Ralph B, do you add Burge yeast to breeding feed?
I think it's good.
It's good. Again, it's exactly like, do you add new nest bowls, clean nest bowls? It's an added feature. I don't.
You think
I don't
new
think-
nest bowls and cleaning nest bowls is an added feature to what?
Let me ask you. You handled all those youngsters we bred. Not one had Burge yeast. Not one had a fancy mix. Not one of them. Not one bird had it. Would you rank the babies out of 10? With no shit given. No high-end shit.
Who's the loft manager?
I bred them. Me.
You bred them? You fed them?
Over there?
Yeah.
All the rounds that I wrote down, all the numbers?
You bred them
Yeah,
and you fed them.
I bred them and I fed them over there. Yes. Yeah, 100% I did. Yeah. And you know it too.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
You did it? You're saying that you
Take
bred
a
them
look
over
at
there?
those birds. What,
Not when I'm gone to Belgium. Not when I'm gone to Belgium. You feed then.
How long
But
were you
all
gone?
summer when we bred all those rounds there that we had to breed. Anyways, you know what? How many birds you ever let out? You couldn't give me a straight answer.
I let a lot out. A lot out. A lot of pigeons just fly
ABC
out
Loft
there. I
says,
open the doors up and they go.
I'm using tobacco stems for the first time. Do you ever use them? They're expensive. I've never used them because I'm not going to buy them.
If you're close to a tobacco field, you can get them.
If you get them, yeah. If we were
Maybe.
close to a tobacco field, yeah, and I get them free, I'm using them. A bale of straw works
I think
great.
they're pretty damn good.
Pine needles work great. Yeah, well, why is a tobacco stem so good? You know why. It creates air in the nest. That's why. Same with the pine needles. Great. Straw.
Same
great.
as if you leave your pigeons open hole, they go grab twigs.
And I'm so sick and tired of seeing ding dongs putting wood shavings in the nest bowls. I still haven't seen pigeons pick up wood shavings and make a nest with it. I think that's the ding dong move of the year. Oh, okay. They are expensive, those tobacco stocks.
Are they?
I think so. If you don't give the second nest bowl, the parents will lay with the young. Not good, poor hatching. I agree with you, right? Yeah. The pairs will hatch and they'll lay in the same bowl. Yes, they will. You'll get that. Give a second bowl is good.
I always like to take the youngsters away. I don't leave them in, right?
He takes them away. But if you do leave them and you don't give the pair another nest and there's not enough room, they're going to lay in that nest.
Yeah, 100%. And the youngsters shit all over.
Shit all
And
over.
Those youngsters there are already jumping around and they're like almost full. Their tails are this friggin' long.
Yeah.
You know what? Take them away. That's it.
Hold on. Pine needles are free, says Little Loft on the hill. Yes, it is. And a great. One good thing about pine needles, bugs do not like pine needles because of the pine. So basically, it's like the young birds are sitting. The pine needles are good for breathing, right?
Aeration.
Aeration, but even the smell from the needles is good for the birds breathing. Nice and dry.
You get a pine box to put your clothing in.
Pine
You got
box,
no
yeah.
problem, right?
Where I agree with Ricky is I don't clean the nests until the young birds are weaned. Yeah, you don't have to clean the nest. Richard, he won't put them in, breed round after round. Same bowl, same thing. Pulls the youngsters
never
out.
clean 'em.
Pulls the youngsters out when it's time. They could be at 16, 18, 20 days old. The youngsters come out. That's what he does.
Hey, listen.
Same nest bowl all year long. And you know what? He will. He'll just keep adding a handful of straw or pine needles into the loft and they'll keep building.
Hey,
They maintenance.
look at it this way. When I was 13 years old,
Uh-huh.
I got out of school and worked on the farm. I didn't wait till I was 30.
He did.
40?
He's not lying.
No, I'm just saying. Get out of the friggin' nest and go to work.
Go to work. And it's the same with cleaning the boxes. Again, you do what you want. You think about wild pigeons. Take a look at how they do it. They don't get a nest bowl given to them. They find the corner under a bridge or the ledge of a beam,
They fall
and
off the
they
ledge.
build the nest and they shit on it and they build the nest and they build the nest.
I had open hole pigeons. I had youngsters. They were 5 weeks old. They were out flying out to the field with their parents.
You were-
Successful racing pigeons.
I was young. I
Machines.
can't remember it.
You
But
can't even remember that.
hey, listen, are you okay? You seem a little tense now, eh?
You're telling me what I seen.
You seem a little tense.
No, I'm just saying. Like, there's too much spoilt shit going on around here.
Well, sure, there's a lot of spoiled shit.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that's
just
what we're
saying.
saying. When there's shit in water, you know what I'm saying? I don't have time for that shit. But again, give them the good feed, give them the vitamins, give them, hey, you want to give them the Burgess, you can. But you're giving them all these good things, you're giving your best. They got to be able to produce the quality too. Not to where you're saying, oh boy, these ones aren't right. Hey, if they're not right, you don't fix what's not right, remove and eliminate.
I think you're wasting sometimes a lot of money and time.
Oh yeah.
And I think with a lot of modern day birds, they're getting medicated. Guys say medicate for 4 different things a week. The vaccination, all this stuff. I think it makes a suck ass pigeon in the end.
ABC,
That's what I'm saying.
ABC Law says, can you win races with open hole? Yes, you can. If you fly real open hole, you're going to win more of your races. You know, the open hole is it just open hole? Is it open hole with training? What is it? There's lots of ways of open hole.
Open hole is number 1. You could have problems with hawks. That's very dangerous, right? Number 2, open hole in the morning.
Mhm.
Soon daylight comes, and they're out. And they're out. they're fielding, they're flying. Open hole pigeon should be like a barn plug. Should fly probably about 10 hours a day. That also controls the molt. Keeps the pigeon in top-notch shape. So,
But
and becomes very smart. And once a day, when you call them in for feed, and sometimes I had open hole pigeons, I'd have 40 pigeons in a section. Once a day they come in for feed late in the day. Literally, 40 pigeons wouldn't eat this much feed because they were open holing. You get me?
They were going to the field to find feed.
Yeah, that's right. They were out in the morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Youngsters, I had them squeaking, would be out. I'd
But,
have
but
even-
open hole doesn't count if you go in the morning and give them 5 cups of feed.
No.
So to say open hole, you have to sort of you have to be ruthless the other way. And when you fly that open hole, your pigeons ain't gonna really show up deadly good until you get to the long end races. That's when they have the super good endurance.
Well, I think you know what?
I'm
I
right.
took open hole youngsters, and I had them flying the
okay.
short races, and they were coming like bullets.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, they were better in long distance. Way better.
Well, they get better in long distance.
Yes, they get better.
Yes.
I wouldn't say you're going to go out and dominate flying shorter races on open hole. I think, yeah, up to a point, then you're going to shut them down fine.
What was I gonna say though?
Ralph B has a question.
Okay, go ahead, Ralph.
Ralph says, how do you feed for long distance races? Well, guys, remember, pigeons, when a pigeon comes home from a hard race, you feel he's lost all his body. That's all the fat stripped off of him, and then the muscles burn. You need fat, you need carbs. Forget the protein. Fat and carbs. You have to know how to feed it. So the birds put the right weight on. Not fat pigeons. You have to give them the right feeds. So when they're flying the 500 miles, the 400 miles, they burn the fats. And the birds have the reserve. It's hard to say how do you feed for long distance because it's a whole.
Yeah, I don't like to see a pigeon that comes home over 400 miles that comes home and he's anorexic.
No, he's
Okay.
cooked.
That means I like to keep pigeons. When I send them, he's got a bit of a roll on him, and when he comes home, he only loses that little bit of roll. He doesn't come home and feel like death. Okay, those kind of pigeons,
And-
I don't like to see that.
And if you're flying 500 miles, I don't want, or 350 miles, I don't want to go to the club with the birds full crop full of feed. Because that's just a trunk. That feed that's in that crop, he's going to have to digest it and he still lugs it halfway home. And by the time he gets home, have you guys ever noticed? I'm not lying to you. You ever noticed? Pigeons come home from a race, you overfed them before you sent them. They come home from hard races, not bad. You let them out on the Monday. The Saturday was a race, you let them out on the Monday and they fly for 2 hours. Fly great. Because all that feed you prepped into them week before, you overdid it. They struggled coming home with it all. But they rested, and the rest of that feed, they sucked it back in, boom, and they get the firepower. Hold on.
Well, the gizzard holds feed for 4 days. And
Oh.
if you want to listen to this one, for example, they're all in that bird family, okay? So, a robin around here, he doesn't find no worms, no stuff, but he eats berries. He's eating around a couple days. He eats a few things, that's fine. A hawk, he kills an animal. He doesn't have to start eating for 2 days. So, the gizzard in a pigeon will hold him for 4 days of, what should I say, power, strength. He's built that if he's here, if it snows for 2 or 3 days, he can't find feed. So he'll survive. So you're sending that same bird that you have fed well he's fed well. Literally, you could take him off the feed on Thursday or Wednesday and ship him to the race on Friday. And that bird is top
Now,
to do it. Now, ask yourself a question. You're going to, you're a hockey player on a team locally, and you're going to have a big meal at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and now you're going to go and play a game at 7. How does it feel? I'm a roller.
hold on.
I'm a
Okay,
I'm a
just,
roller.
can I just talk for a second?
No, you're cutting me off.
No,
right now.
yeah, I'm going to cut you off now because I don't need 500 answers.
People like to hear
No,
this.
okay, can I cut in now so we can keep it rolling because we got more questions.
Oh, okay.
Nobody works good on a full stomach. You don't go to work good on a full stomach. You don't do nothing good on a full stomach. So sure as hell, people that show up to the club with the birds packed out with feed like this, they say, well, they're going to need all the energy. What I say is, yeah, thank you. Good job, because guess what? I just hammered you tomorrow. They're actually helping you. Encourage them. Feed as much as you want. Hell, pack them up. Anyways, we got some.
Have you ever seen a barn plug come in?
I gotta read just a few of
He
these
has
questions.
no more than one, not even a quarter crop of feed.
Yeah.
Why?
I know. Do you want me to tell you the number one reason why? It's because you can't get away from the hawk when you're not sharp, eh? And just a little bit of feed is all you need to keep running. You're sharp and you're quick. You ever try and catch a plug? Can't catch them, can you?
No.
Here, we got a couple comments. Great comments tonight, guys, on the YouTube. Sorry, we're not on Facebook. I got a couple comments. Let me read them here. Mike Green says, my individual pens, I put the young birds down at about 14 days old, and the parents lay in the same nest bowl, and they do just fine. There you go. Alan says, I don't like disturbing the young birds in the nest. That ring of poop around the bowl means the birds are already learning. Well, I think that's good. Nothing wrong with that. Again, there's some people that love to clean it, some people who don't. Either way, I don't think it matters. Brian Mansker says, when feeding for long distance races, a lot of it is going into depending on the weather conditions. Okay, I agree. But again, fat and carbs, they'll never screw you over. But you don't feed fat the day of basketing because the fat takes 2 days. It takes 48 hours for the fat to get into where you need it. Carbs is different. Carbs you feed at the end. Fat before that. Build up with the fat and the carbs. Oh, and by the way, those damn pigeons, they need to eat. And to get them to eat, you need to take the feed away. Less to more, and they'll eat, which is great. Try it. If you guys know what a widowhood basket is, with the little doors, individual, they're like shoe boxes, pretty much. A widowhood basket. Guys, go and get your pigeons, put them in a widowhood basket. Your breeders right now, before you've paired them up, your cocks, your 5 best cocks, put them all in individual individual widowhood basket. Today's Monday. Check them next Monday. Leave them in the basket and do not touch them. See how much weight they go down. Don't give them any feed and don't give them any water. They're going to feel better than when you put them in. You will. They'll feel better. Hey, people, ABC Loft, I don't know if you were in the New York area. You should have came down. We had the birds on display at the auction there in New Jersey. They're basketed on Tuesday. No feed Tuesday. No feed Wednesday. No feed Thursday. Friday they got a drink of water. They don't eat right because they're in the baskets and they're not used to it. Saturday they're on display. Sunday back in the basket. Monday they get shipped out. People were getting birds delivered from Wednesday to Friday. Birds were on the road 10 days. What was the thing everybody said that they got the birds? These birds feel super. Nothing special. But it's the gizzard, it's everything. And it's the quality of the pigeons.
Gizzard holds feed for 4 days.
Right? Hold on.
After 4 days, that pigeon is empty. That's it.
So, do you recommend sending birds with empty crops for short races up to 150 miles?
I do.
Yeah, I would say your last feeding for anything up to 200 miles. Depends again if it's a headwind, but even in a headwind, Thursday, feed them Thursday, and that's good. Thursday evening, the last feeding. Friday, just water. That's it. Let the system come down. No more goes in the trunk. Let them start to use that. Boom. And again, on Friday, I wouldn't be going out letting them out flying. I wouldn't be going in the loft bothering them. I wouldn't even go in the loft until it's time to basket. Give them the water in the morning. If you're going to motivate a little bit, okay? But I wouldn't be bothering the pigeons and making them run around and chasing them and bringing people in to look at them. Don't do that. Alan.
Wear your same clothes and that's it. I got a beautiful hat here for Christmas, and I went in the loft. My birds were afraid of it. You know, or if you change your coat, you change your system. You always wear a blue coat or a gray coat or whatever you wear. Just keep wearing that in the loft. See this beautiful outfit I have on right now? If I wear this in the loft tomorrow, they're not used to it. I always wear my other coat. I go in.
Yeah.
You don't want to freak them out, right?
Yeah, same thing. You
Yeah.
don't wear your sunglasses. If you don't wear your sunglasses all the time, don't wear them at all.
Yeah, that's right. And when you go in, always use the same tone. If you talk, if you sing, whatever you do, always keep that same system.
Yeah,
right?
the pigeons get used to it, and it keeps them calm. It lets them know, right? If you're talking to them, if you go in and say hello to them, it might sound stupid to your neighbors listening. Hello, hey guys, how's it going? What you're doing is you're talking, you're communicating. Hey, the boss is here. If you sing, if you whistle, if you're on the phone, you do it all the time. It's the same.
I walk in my pigeon loft.
Question.
My pigeons, they think I'm a bird.
That's right.
Same thing, right?
Alan says, always feed something. If there's a holdover, not good for the birds. If you build them up through the week, you'll be all right. I don't think you have to worry. Ralph B says, how do you rest your pigeons for long races, 500 miles? Well, if they're worked right, probably the last time you want to let them out, if you're racing on a Saturday, would be on a Wednesday. I think that'd be the last time they go out for a law fly. Or they might go for a 100-mile training flight. Depends on what they've done the weeks prior. To stretch them out, get them 2 hours opened up, 2.5 hours maybe. Then they'd be parked right away and sit. Or even on the Tuesday. Maybe the Tuesday or the Wednesday. It all depends on the weather of the week. But locking the birds down into the loft, that's great. Rest is good. Because if you're taking them to 500 miles, they already got to be in condition. And sometimes the best training, no training. Rest. Brian Mansker says, 31 people watching. Hey, on YouTube, that's very, very good. Thank you, guys. I don't know if we're going to hit 10,000 subscribers before the new year, but we're going to sure try. I would say, you know your stuff, Ryan, says Alan. You know how you learn stuff, Alan? You make lots of mistakes, and then you learn. As we talked about here today, training around the clock, doing things like that. Fun fact, guys. Had pigeons his whole life. Got 5 late breds. He's playing with them. He already knows how to play the game, but he's just playing pigeons. You know what?
You know what? It's late in the year. I know that. I picked my days, and I'm just playing around with this idea
In a different
and
way than
that's,
normal.
That's why I threw it at you.
Yeah.
And I'm letting them go. They're released around at this time between 3:30 and 4:15. So it's getting kind of late on my time.
Mm-hmm.
It's always overcast here, and I'm switching them around. And that's what do you think?
What we're saying is, and Alan says, and I thank you, Alan, for that compliment. You know your stuff. Hell, you learn by trial and error and analyzing, and you have to make the mistakes.
You don't. What I'm saying is, we're always learning.
Yes.
And I think Ryan takes it as kind of a funny thing.
No,
But
I'm taking it the right way.
I know what my friend Roman said. He's a Russian guy.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Don't do this train line on flight. Switch them around. Switch them around." And I'm just thought, for the hell of it, I'm going to do that. Years ago, I used to dump them here and there, but then I got more on the line. I'm thinking he says it makes them smarter to not get confused
Right. Okay.
in a group or
Right.
whatever.
Okay.
So
And
we're going
I'm
back
not
to
disagreeing. I am in agreement to a point. I'm agreeing. I will say, with the feeds and the products and everything, take a look. You want to feed fatty seeds? Go out and look at what seeds have the most fat. And I'm not talking about what they sell for pigeons. No. I'm talking about going to your local store, like your bulk barn that we have here in Canada, that they sell all different types of little seeds, mustard seeds, these seeds, and they're for your kitchen. They're for you to eat. They're for you to make stuff with. And you start to look. You look and you say, how can I get my birds to eat these? Because this seed here is 100% fat. By the way, protein. Peas have 14%, right? 14%, 15%, 10%, 12%, 14%. A turkey grower pellet has 22%. You can get them up to, right? So you feed them a little bit of that. It's better than feeding them a pea, but you still can give them a bit of peas. You give them some other things. Try and find the seeds that work. So you don't have to go out and buy.
Basically, a pea is a waste.
Yeah, and it's the same
If
thing.
you're looking for protein.
Hey, take a look at the small corn. It's very hard. Very hard. Great corn for long distance. But the larger, bigger cow's corn, it's a little softer. It breaks down.
Small dent corn.
Small dent corn, cow's corn. It breaks down way quicker than the hard popcorn. So that means the birds get the carbs quicker. Breaks down quicker. But hey, popcorn sure looks better than cow's corn, doesn't it? More sexy, more shiny, smaller, better. But I don't think it's better. I think it's different. Alan says, I hear you. I'm 70. I could tell you stories. Says Alan. I am 70. You're learning. You got stories. Ralph B says, how you get your birds to build stamina by loft flying or road training? Loft flying. When loft flying, yeah, I think when your pigeons go out in the morning and you let them out and they fly for an hour and a half or 2 hours and they disappear and they come back and they disappear and they're rolling in all the different sky, good. They're building mental condition. They're building physical condition.
All I'm going to say is, if you can get your pigeons to fly 10 hours a day, you will not be beaten.
Right.
Now, hold up. Mm-hmm. Who can do that? Therefore, you got a loft fly in the morning for an hour and a half. You got a loft fly in the afternoon for an hour and a half, right? That's 3 hours. Plus, you do some road training for an hour. That's 4 or 5 hours. Now, perfect. Which one of your buddies can do that? Now, if there's a buddy that can get those birds to fly 10 hours a day on a proper feeding program and respect, you will never beat that guy.
And remember,
Never.
remember,
But who can fly 5 hours a day?
remember, once you're in super condition, you're at the max. You can't build any more condition. All you can do is burn yourself out.
You can hold it. You got to hold it.
So to hold it, you don't need to fly 10 hours a day. But, as Richard says, when they're at the beginning part of that time, those young birds, and we use young birds, before you even start training, they gotta go out, they gotta be flying, they gotta be exercising, they gotta fly multiple hours a day. And hey, you get them out in the morning for 2 hours, get them in. A little bit of feed, fine. You want to get them back out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon for another 2 hours, get them out again. You want to train them a bit, good. But once you get into the race season, you have to know, don't race your races around the loft. So you have to know how to rest. Because rest is as important, maybe more important, once you've got the super condition. Whew. Mike Green says, you always learn new things that work for you, but might not work for others. That's another thing. That's another thing. You have to find what works on your schedule.
That's right.
But hey, I'll tell you, if you come home from work and you let your pigeons out and they just sit on the roof and they don't fly and they feel heavy and you're feeding heavy feed, you're feeding the breeding mix and they're fat, they don't fly. Well, the reason they don't fly is you got too much weight on them. And that's where your light mix, diet mix, forget diet mix, 50% barley. When you feed the pigeons, you put a race mix with barley together. Throw a handful, they eat it all up. Throw a handful, they eat it all up. Throw the third handful, and they eat everything but the barley. Bye-bye, we're finished.
I'm just saying, what I like to do is, if I go out and feed what I call the good feed, right? You know, the steak, ham, potatoes, all that good shit, fish, all that shit, put that out first. No. I throw out the barley first. And I know exactly how much, the barley. That's got to be gone.
But I want to ask you a question.
I will add
But I want to ask you a question.
some better feed.
Because you know what you're doing. You've done it a long time.
Right?
We're not gonna do that.
Oh no, I know.
I'm gonna give you the good feed. But I know if I don't give you no barley, that you can feed them properly without even having barley in there.
I go in.
I know.
My feed pail, my hand is that large. If I have to do it that way, I reach in the pail. See that? That feeds 2 birds. So I got 20 birds, 15 birds in the section. I know 15 of those does it. And that does do it.
Hey.
At this, not feeding youngsters, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
keep them on that, right?
And always, guys, always a feed like barley. If you have it in any of your mixes, they normally will leave the barley when they're done eating. So if you have 5% barley in any of your mixes, when the barley, you see a few pieces of barley, it's done. It's a cheat. It's a cheat.
I notice in a lot of these mixes, like professional mixes, I'm gonna say Joe mix. there's not a lot of barley in there.
There's not.
There's nothing. And there's a lot of Capricorn, millet, Milo, whatever Capricorn
Yeah.
in there. All that feed is basically canary seed. Like they just take it, eat it, and then it goes out the other end. You know what the?
Yeah.
That's what I noticed.
Ralph B says, how many weeks do you need to train the birds before the first race?
Young birds?
I'd say about 6 weeks.
Yeah. At least.
6 to 8 weeks. I mean, 6 to 8 weeks, that's good. You can rush it in 4, but you won't be happy with it. 6 to 8.
And they should loft fly.
And
They
again,
have to loft fly.
and again, think about this before you put them in the car. Say next week is 8 weeks before the first race. Next week is 8 weeks. Say on Monday I'm gonna let those birds out, and I'm gonna sit there and we let them out, and they're gonna go up for a fly, and I want to be able to sit and have a coffee, and I don't want to see them. And then halfway through the coffee, I want to see them way over in the distance going by. They're telling you, okay, we're getting ready. You watch. If they're not doing that and you're at week 8, it's okay. Leave it another week. It's okay. Take your time. Let them disappear, reappear, disappear. Ralph B says, oh, hold on. LJ says, I'm new to pigeons, building my loft now and getting my very first rounds of young birds in a month. Can each of you give a new flyer one piece of advice? Ooh.
So in a month, whereabouts is he?
It could be in the States. Who knows?
Okay, so
Well, what kind of new advice would you give him? Boy, this is a trick.
okay,
That's another
it's
trick.
first round of youngsters. Okay. First round of youngsters. So we're in a month. So February's going to have them. He's going to have them by the 1st of March. They're going to be ready on the board to put on the board. I hope. Now here, we can't do that. And ideally, I would like to do that, but we can't because we've got the hawks. So you put the first round of youngsters, they're starting to do that little thing like this, but they can't fly really from here to the top of the tree. You get a hawk come in, you're gonna lose. You're gonna be in trouble. I don't know where you are. So ideally here, you can't let them out till about the middle of April to be safe.
Yeah, and the other thing here, in Belgium they have hawks, in Florida they have hawks. The one thing we have here is next week we could have, or not next week, January the 31st, we could have 35 youngsters to put on the board, like he said, ready to go on the board.
Right.
And we could have 1.5 feet of snow. So now the hawks scare them off the roof. Everything's a white, and you lose all the work you put in. So what he's saying is, watch your area because you don't want to breed nice youngsters and then basically give them to Mother Nature because she will fix you.
She will. And then if you keep those youngsters in till the middle of April, me in my heart, you're only sort of taking them back to being dummies. They're like couch potatoes.
Good, we call it. They look real good. They're great. Perfect. But they're about as dumb can be.
Yeah, they don't have, it's dangerous. That's, I actually don't want to, I like to have eggs hatch about the first week of March.
Well,
Soon the water here doesn't freeze, or freezes very little. Then the youngsters I could put on the board the first week of April, maybe. Or if they got to be in a little fly pen till the second week of April. Then the hawks, I got no troubles here with hawks.
I'm going to give you a tip, LJ. There's a lot to learn. Too much for me to give you a tip. But on Monday nights, we're on this show. You ask all the questions you want, and we'll try and answer them. And I think that's your best way. Watch who you listen to. Watch it. Watch where you're getting your birds from. Watch. Slow down. As David Tracy said, be very patient. Ask questions and ask questions and listen to the answers and ask multiple winning people the same question.
Okay, you hate to put your youngsters out and have them scared out by hawks. Like,
We got another question.
right. But the other question is too, the answer is, if you had 50 youngsters on the board, and they're lazy couch potatoes, there's probably still only 5 that are excellent. The rest deserve to get lost. But if you put them on the board and the hawks scare them, it's not fair.
Oh, here's
Not
another
fair.
tip. Here's a good one.
Mhm.
If you fly your first race or your first season and you win a race, you're going to keep that bird for breeding. A waste of your time. You got to race your pigeon for the whole season. Race your pigeons. Race them and learn. Feeding is key, right? Feeding is key, and sometimes less pigeons is more. Less. And by the way, you go start training, you have 50 youngsters and you're feeling good. You have a bad toss and you lose them down to 8. I don't want you to stop. I want you to push through and fly the season out. Learn. Okay. Next question. ABC Loft says, do we give grit before the race? After about Thursday, I take the grit away. And in race mode, giving them fresh grit is key. So I'm not going to give them grit on Friday. No. I'm giving them grit on the Wednesday and the Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. That's it. David Tracy says, please be patient. Alan, to new flyer, tame your young to get them to eat from your hand. Yep, that's good. Sit with your pigeons and enjoy them. You're from Louisiana. Louisiana, if one thing I know, is warm. So make sure your loft has enough ventilation. Ventilation is key. Not overcrowding your pigeons, right? And your pigeon loft, the floor of the loft, if it's wire, whatever it is, has to be dry. A wet loft is a sick loft. Mark Kernwell, hold on. Aaron says, it's amazing to me, birds eat all these stones and shells and grits and stones dissolve in their system. Yeah, it passes it through. It grits and minerals and stones and sand and whatever. It's the teeth. It's what grinds up the feed for the pigeons. So the pigeons, they need the stones. Mark Kernwell says, I agree. If you leave them in too long, they get real stupid.
Yeah.
And the
That's right.
bad part is, if you could have right now babies that you're ready to band, and there's guys that have them. There are lots of guys. And you'll go to their house. You won't put your birds together till, like he said, May 20th. But wait, we went away that week. We didn't get back till February 25th. Put them together. You'll end up going, and I'm going to use Mark here. I'm just using Mark's name. You can go to Mark's place, May the 1st. You're in his area, you stop at his house, and you look in his loft. And Mark's got beautiful pencil pies and mealies. He weaned them January 20th. And they're cooing and they're beautiful and they're strong and they're this and they're that. And you'll look and you'll say to yourself, boy, I'm going to get killed. Mark's birds look great, or Jerry's birds look great. Your birds are still squeaking and they're molting and they look like hell. Here's their treading. He'll show you them, they're already on eggs. Then you'll hear from that gentleman, all those nice ones? I lost them at 10 miles.
So basically, you know what?
Got a bunch of good-looking dummies.
No,
and we've done it. Have we done it?
I just, Ryan, I've done everything.
Once.
Coming and going, right? More than once. I'm just saying, I think when you raise those youngsters so early, unless you're going to send them out as youngsters somewhere to a one-off race in the States where they can go out, fly, I think you're only entertaining yourself.
Yes.
Entertaining yourself to believe. Look, and the other thing too is, in this country, mind you, I have to scratch my neck. But in this country right here, I'm telling you, it's been mild here in December, but January and February and the half of March, when you got to go out there in the morning and make sure they got the water and the feed, and halfway through the afternoon, the water's frozen. You got to take that out, water again, and then by evening you got to do water again. It's just what I call a pain in the ass. And once the youngsters get weaned or start to wean, half their feathers get a little fretted because they're sitting in minus 15, minus 20 degree temperatures, or maybe minus 30 degrees. You're going, this to me is just making me feel good. Like I know so many guys, people. Oh, I got youngsters. 10th of February, 10th of January, I got 60 youngsters already weaned. Good luck, bud.
You're doing a lot of work.
Yeah, you're just trying to fabricate. What are you getting excited? It's like a golfer. He's going, I'm going to start golfing the middle of January. I'm golfing. Come on, man.
That's
you gotta
right.
be real, forget it.
Michael Peeler says you didn't get a notification on Facebook because we couldn't get on Facebook tonight. I don't know why. Mark Cardinal says I'm not breeding till February this year. Okay. Michael Green says the longer you leave them in the loft, the stupider he found them. We find it the same thing. If you're going to breed them, remember the evolution like when you were a little kid. You were born, you crawled, no, you sat on the floor, you crawled, you walked, you stand, you run, you do it all in a sequence. Everything's got to go like this, and it's the same with the pigeons. If those pigeons can't get out and be young pigeons, I'm going to tell you, it don't work.
I think you're right. I spoke with a fellow the other day, and this is a channel here where we like to communicate. This fellow was from Newfoundland, and he was 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to his mother, 15.
Yeah.
I spoke with him the other day. He's now 56.
Right?
He spoke to his mother, and he said, Mom, I'm getting out of school. I can't take it no more. I'm out. He didn't want to, right. He said to me, you know what my mother did? He said my mother, he was from Newfoundland. He said my mother went and got me a plane ticket.
Yeah.
And the mother had to be strong to do this to her
Right.
child.
Right.
He said my mother got me a plane ticket for Toronto, and gave me $200 in my pocket and said, you want to get out of school? You want to be a man? Here it is. Go. And he left.
And there he went.
He's like exactly what you're saying.
He's still there today.
Oh yeah, he's going to retire now. He just told me.
Now, hold on. LJ, I'm going to tell you this. This is another tip for you. You want good pigeons? Good ones. When it's time for you to get good pigeons, when you feel that you want to invest in pigeons,
Come on now.
you buy the best pigeons from Belgium or Holland that you can afford. That's my tip. You can come to us. We'll help you out. If you don't have to, but you go find the best flyers, the very best ones. Those are where you want to get your pigeons from. Not from your guys in your local area. You want to go to the best that you can afford and that fly against the biggest competition with the biggest prizes. That's what you're looking for. That's another tip. But now's not that time, eh? Now is the time to learn and love your pigeons. Ralph B says, what age do you start trap training your youngsters? Or give us advice from weaning till they start loft flying.
Trap training?
Trap training's every time you go in and feed. You talk to them, you feed them, you call them, they come around you, they eat. Hey, put them out in the aviary, you're out in the aviary. Shut the trap so they've been outside for a half hour. It's time for dinner. Open the trap. Call them, boom, 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 boom. They come in. If they don't come in, no feed.
Soon you weed them on the floor.
That's right.
That's trap training, right?
Training, trap training, and all this training, it all starts right from the beginning. And
Soon you weed them on the floor. That's it, youngsters. Bang, trap training. You got them in the fly pen. Soon they see you walking to the loft with the bucket. Trap training.
And you'll see some of the top flyers that feed the pigeons one piece of corn in their fingers. They can feed it. They can feed it. They can feed it. Do you know how they do that? They put the time in. They sit with the birds, and they get the birds to respect them. And you get that respect by learning how to cut the feed back, but rewarding them. And once they learn it, they never forget it. That's another thing. Teach them young, and they learn for life. Mike Green says, and watch the loft tours. Watch the loft tours. Breeders. Ryan Talks has very good information. Yeah, we try and talk to the breeders and get the most information as we can in a show. We've got already on our Facebook and our YouTube channel, we've got over 3,500 videos. I think we've got 60 or 70 loft tours from people from all over Europe. Watch that. And again, like I said, on Monday nights, we are on here. And if you subscribe to our channels, if you have questions, the best thing is to ask on the shows. Because if you have a question, probably someone else has the same question. And sometimes if you ask me or Richard the question, you'll have Mike Green. He'll give you his answer. David Tracy will. Other people will give you some of their input on what they found.
I said on last week's show or the week before, great flyer again. He had an auction. He said, this hen here, excellent. Boom. The nestmate, the brother. I'm sorry he's not here, but because when I was feeding, I stepped on his head. What does that tell you? You got to read between the lines, right? In other words, you understand what that told you?
I understood.
Yeah.
I understand, Ricky.
But some people, they have to read those lines.
I didn't believe this. We only dealt with the people on YouTube tonight, and I don't mean dealt, but the only people that could participate were the people that came on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We did a 2-hour show for Christmas Eve. That was pretty good.
It all started off with
training.
With training a bunch of late breds going around the clock, and I thought it was a good thing, you know. And I'm still gonna keep doing it until I lose them right to the end. And one of my reasons for doing it is I have an old friend. He's 93 years old, and I think he's going to need a dove release pretty soon. And the family's going to call me, and I don't have any pigeons that, my Icelandic whites, I've had them parked. I can't generate that, so I took these late breds, and I want to start playing around with them and hooking them around here and there and hooking them around. I'm playing around with them so they get sharp. So if Harvey passes, I'm going to be able to give him a dove release. And this is one of the, I'm just playing around with these birds, right? So.
Very good.
Very
good. You know what? We will do a training toss this week with Ricky. We will. We'll go. We'll show you a day when he goes. Go a mile away. We'll let him out. We'll drive back. We'll see how they come.
Not far.
No, we're just going to have some fun. Again, we've got our Boxing Day sale running. I wanted to post this up here just before we wrap up. There's the Boxing Day week sale. 23rd to the 30th or 31st here. 2 great auctions going. Here's your part 1. No import fees on these pigeons, cocks and hens. They're all from some of the very best lofts in Belgium, Germany, Holland, Denmark, Hungary, and Scotland. There's 2 parts to this sale. If you're a new guy, this is a great opportunity for you to get some real good pigeons at a real good price. and start yourself off, I say, on the right foot. But those are the two auctions we will be on this week. I'll be on tomorrow showing the birds of part 2. I'm going to make something else tomorrow. We'll be on for probably an hour and a half while we do some cooking. Hopefully everyone had a good Christmas. Hold on here. We got information is the king. Yes, remember, knowledge is power. You get the information and you going to give you, it's good for you. You got to take the information in.
The thing is, you got to remember, if you get maybe 20 pieces of information, how many pieces can you really keep in your mind to make it work? If you get 100 pieces, how many pieces can you keep? If I say right now, I'm giving you 100 pieces. How many pieces can you keep in your mind? It's like you can't.
Well,
It's a little piece, a little piece, a little piece to keep in your mind. And it may sound like real simple, but there's some stuff that I look at that pigeon people are doing. I'm looking, holy jumping catfish, that's garbage. But I'm still learning some little pieces from other people.
yeah,
You
you have to.
understand me, eh?
Alan says, don't worry, Ricky. They don't have to come home. Well, we're not going to go take birds and dump them off so they don't come home. We want to respect birds, right? That's the other thing.
What, the laybreds?
No. We're saying, you have to do a release maybe for Harvey's funeral if he dies. Right?
Yeah, well, that's why I'm doing it now.
Hold on.
Because I think I'm doing it short. I'm doing it a
Hold
mile
on.
and a half, just around the block, a little bit short.
It's the same. I don't like taking birds and dumping them when they got no.
I'm not done yet.
I'm saying, Alan said, they don't have to come home. Yes, they have to come home.
They have
we,
to.
we want to make sure we put birds out that can do the job.
Okay, if Harvey, when he passes
hold-
away, if I don't have pigeons that can do the job,
I won't.
they won't go.
Okay, hold on.
And I've done funerals.
Yeah.
I've done wedding releases. I've done them in January and February with my Icelandic whites. They were proven. They came home. But I've had these birds parked, so I'm not going to just go boom and put them in. They got to be proven. I've done releases where birds had to fly 15 miles through heavy snow, and they came.
Okay.
Because they were in shape.
Okay, so.
So these lake
right.
birds here,
Okay,
I want them
yeah,
in shape.
good. I'm saying, if you're going to be the type of guy to take birds and do that.
No, I won't do it.
That's right.
I'll tell Becky.
Okay,
Swift.
I know. I don't need the reason. I'm saying to anybody, don't be a fucking ding dong. Make sure you respect the damn bird and do it right. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Don't
doing.
take birds and dump them.
That's why I'm doing it.
That's what I'm saying. But I didn't need a story. I'm just telling you. Anyways. Okay.
No, it's not.
Do you ever do you ever sniff or wash the stand over the year? Or leave it like that and never touch it? SIFT. Sift? Oh, wash the sand. No. The sand, he maybe rakes off the top a little bit. You're talking about the dry litter. Put the sand in good and thick. You can rake the lumps out. Gone.
That's it.
And just it. Leave it. Sorry. Ralph B. Can you breed from 9-year-old pigeons? Sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
9-year-old pigeons, no problem.
We got that cockbird out there. How old is he?
2007.
How old is that now? I can't remember.
2007.
So
So
17 would
if-
be 10. 10.
17 is 10.
He's
18 is 11. 19 is
15,
12. 19 is 12. 20
No.
is 13.
He's 16 years old.
16 years old. He'll breed again
He's
this
still
year.
breeding. Yeah, if you want, I can show him a picture. I'll show you a picture. He's just
No,
friggin'
maybe we'll bring him in next week.
yeah.
Superbirds in these groups. Yes,
And
there
actually,
is.
that family of pigeons. We got the seagull. How old's he? He's pretty old, eh?
The Seagull's a 2007. Or is he? No, sorry, I'm lying. He's a 2009. He's got a white band.
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah. He's still going.
He's still
I
going.
should show them feeding the pigeons. Holy mackerel, man.
Yeah, maybe we'll show that this week.
Now, last year, that cock, last winter, I thought that.
He was going to go.
Blueface.
Yeah.
No, I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring him in for the winter. I felt sorry for him because it
Yeah.
was, cold. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to leave him out. If he goes, he goes. Man, oh man. He produced a pair of young ones this year.
Oh, sure.
Perfect. I can't believe it.
That's right. Michael Peeler says, "What about matching up the two, Black Sonia and the Van He?" Go ahead. Nothing wrong
The
with it.
Vanu cock. That
Oh,
cock,
the-
that checker cock.
Yeah, that's fine. I think. I
I
mean,
think it's good. The,
Yeah.
the checker cock. He's the inbred cock, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can mix and match those birds however you want. Again, they don't have little signs on them, right? That says "put me to them" and "they're to there." You have to pick what you like and see how it goes. And again, I will say, when you're pairing up pigeons, if they don't pair, don't force it. It doesn't work. You're just gonna scratch your head and bang it into the wall. And you really will, because you can't force things that aren't meant to be forced.
Oh, I've had pairs mated up. And if they're in a communal area, they're mated, full mated. They've had a pair of youngsters together, and then they split. They
They're-
decide to shack up with somebody else.
There's
it's
not
like-
the romance.
No.
Hey, and guys, reminder, we still got some spots here for this Pigeon Boss tour. You can come with me to Belgium. We're going to visit 10 super lofts. We're going to go to a real pigeon show, an exhibit. You will love that. You're going to go to the Lear Market. You're going to go to a professional Van Roby's feed store. You will see pigeon feed there. You're going to get to go to the Lear Market. You're going to get to go to 2 pigeon restaurants. We still have 3 spots available. The price is $5,999 Canadian. It is a great trip. You will love it. I highly recommend it. And hey, it's not till February, so you guys still have time. Ricky, 2 hours and 13 minutes. We're 2 drinks in. You think we're good? You think we're done for tonight? Christmas Eve show.
I'd have to clap my hands for the show tonight. I'd clap my hands for the people participating
Yeah.
in the show, coming on. It's Christmas night. It's already here. It's quarter to 11, 10 to 11.
Yeah.
I appreciate the friends.
Yeah. Well, this
We're
is
all-
hey.
we're friends.
This is a real pigeon club. This is learning. This is arguing. A little fighting. A little back and forth. But at the end of the day, we're trying to get better. And hey, if anything that Richard and myself, if it insults you, if it hurts your feelings or whatever, we're not here to do that. Same with you if you're a new person. All we're doing, we're just talking.
All I'm saying is he insulted me tonight quite a few times, but I'm just gonna let it blow off. That's it. Remember one thing. He's an asshole.
I am.
That's it.
I am.
Okay.
I'm an asshole.
That's
and I'm
it.
okay with that.
Right.
I'm fine with it.
Right.
And you know
That's
what?
good.
You're an asshole, but you're still alright for me
That's
too.
the way it is, right?
And hey,
as long as
everybody on
hey,
this show's an
as
asshole.
long as he doesn't hit me,
That's right.
I'm okay.
Well, but you don't want me to hit you because I'll knock you over.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm worried. If you hit me, it's okay. But I'm just saying. Merry Christmas. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
We enjoyed a little bit of talk, a little bit of shit,
Hey, what's
a little,
when's,
a little bit of lies.
grab me your phone for a second. I just want to see what next week's family show is going to
Oh,
look
here,
like.
my phone.
Just I want to know the date.
Tomorrow night.
We
won't be around.
will be on. Hold on. For next week's family show, yes, we will. Hopefully, we get the internet on Facebook working.
So we got a lot of people couldn't connect, right?
Yeah, well, the show was half tonight, but that's okay. Monday, January 1st, yeah, so we will be on. As Mike Green said, the oldest bird he had breeding was 22 years old.
Oh yeah.
Not all birds breed forever. Anytime after 7 years old, they can stop.
Hey Mike, I don't know if I told you the story, but I had an old cock. Actually, it was given to Ryan as a gift from Bill Sheridan, the great flyer. Ryan was only 2.5, 3 years old or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
can remember the pigeon when we got him.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Carl Winterstein gave us a mealy cock at the same time.
Yeah, and
See how I remember
that cock bird, he was 25 years old. When he was 21, he got blind. And he would, I put him in the section there. We called him Bill.
Bill.
'Cause Bill gave him to you. Put him in the section. He was blind. I put him in the on the floor. He'd made up to a young hen, blind as could be. Feed him in the tray, whatever. 25 years old, strong as a bull. He got nailed. I got a weasel got in one night. Bang. Nailed him off. Like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
A strong cockbird.
He had a nice big waddle.
Yeah,
He was 50% white, and he was a blue bar
yeah.
cock.
Yeah.
And he had the bars on him. He
Yeah.
had the personality. He was a super
Oh,
pigeon.
When he was 17 years old, 20 years old, 18 years old, let him out. He'd clap
clap.
around.
Yeah.
He was basically showing the hawks. Hey,
Hell
bud,
are you?
You'll never get me.
Yeah. Yeah,
He
he
was
went
he
through
was a
all
good-
that open hole.
He was a good bird.
Yeah, and we got him as a late bred in the fall. I remember getting him.
Bill Sheridan gave him to you as
Yeah.
a gift.
And Carl Winterstein
He's just
gave
like
me the
about this big when he
gave me
got.
the mealy cock. There were two. Alan says, "You're both assholes, but I love you." Well, hey, that's okay, Alan. And remember, Alan, guys, Alan's tip. This is a tip from Alan's to use for this year of 2024. If you're shitting a lot of water yourselves, Alan says, just have a handful of peas. Get a can of peas,
No,
eat it.
no.
Beans, you eat it. Your shit's gonna tighten up.
I got a joke. Alan said
Oh.
we're both pieces of shit. Okay. We got a few minutes, right?
Can we just? I gotta wrap this up.
No, about
My phone's
about
gonna die.
when the Lord made man.
Oh, Dad, I don't want to hear this, and nobody cares about your jokes. Your jokes suck. Listen, every joke of
So
yours.
this is a good
No,
joke.
we're not going to tell this joke tonight because I'm going to tell you why. I can't put my audience through this shit,
No,
and we're not doing
It's only
it.
going to take about 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, guys, remember in your life you only go around the planet once. Apparently, you don't want to waste 3 to 4
Yeah, when
minutes.
the Lord made man.
No, I don't want to hear the joke. It's stupid.
No, it's a good joke though.
Your jokes are dumb. Unless someone says they want to hear the joke, I'm not letting you say it. So
Come on, let's
someone's
hear
got to
it.
say it, and we're going to only give them 40 seconds to say they want to hear the joke. I don't think anyone's going to want to hear your joke. So
It's a
you
good joke.
and by the time someone says they want to hear the joke, you know what he'll do?
He'll
forget the
Alan
joke.
said
Alan-
we're both a piece of shit.
No,
but
Alan said
there's
we're
something
both
about
assholes.
that joke. Both assholes.
Yeah.
But this is a joke for assholes.
Yeah, but hold on. I don't think anyone wants to hear it because again,
Okay,
we haven't
good.
had anyone say anything. And I'm going to give you the respect. If someone says they want to hear the joke, I'll let you tell the joke. But I don't think anyone's going to want to hear this joke. So let's see if someone says it.
So I'm going to show them what my hands laid today.
Not the hens laid today. Ricky's hens. Oh yeah,
Look at that.
Ricky's hens.
32 hens, 24 eggs.
24 eggs. Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. They look good.
Whoa.
And the yolks are super.
Oh, and the what do you call it? The size, the yolks, the
Yeah.
shell.
Very good. Strong eggs.
Oh, I got a guy call me this morning.
Daniel Herman said, "Let's hear the joke." Daniel Herman, you're an asshole. Oh, hey guys, I gotta say one thing. Daniel Herman gave Leah a great compliment. Daniel Herman loves our advertising. Thank you, Daniel. And again, our Boxing Week sale is on here now. There's 2 parts to it, part 1, part 2. You see them. Ricky, go ahead with this stupid joke. Thank you, Daniel Herman. Daniel Herman. Go! Start telling the joke. You don't need to make a drink to tell the stupid joke. I got just enough Pepsi here for you, sweetheart. What's the joke? Can you add a little Pepsi to your drink?
So the Lord, the Lord created man,
Okay.
and the human being.
Yes, you
Let
can
me
breed
get
from old
this.
hens.
Okay. So the body was created, and the mind that the Lord created the man. So the mind of the man said, "I'm going to control this body, and I will tell you what to do." So the mind said to the arms, "I'm going to have you work the arms." And well, right?
Come on,
The
go!
Lord, he said, if I'm going to do this, I don't need you to do this. So, the Lord said, okay. The mind said, I'm going to make it so that your arms, your legs are going to be able to take you to places to work.
Okay.
So you can work your arms. The legs going to
Walk you
you
there.
around.
Your hands
So-
are gonna make you eat.
Yeah.
All
and
this stuff.
The mind,
Okay.
the brain, the head said, I'll be able to do that. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So we're gonna cut the joke short.
It's already
So-
too long.
The mind said, okay. What about the rear end, like
Your ass.
Your ass. The brain said, I'm going to control that, right? And the ass went like this. The ass went, without me, you can't shit.
Without me, you can't shit.
So that means,
Yeah.
right,
Right.
without assholes
Without
and
assholes,
shitheads,
you can't shit.
you can't operate. The world can't operate, man.
Mike, I'll call you tomorrow sometime in the morning, Mike. I'll give you a call. No problem. Alan, I changed my mind. Alan changed his mind. He doesn't want to hear the joke. Daniel Herman says, booze always make the jokes better. Guys, that was a bad one. Ricky Dangerfield. They're calling you Ricky Dangerfield. Hey, guys, you know what? I'll give you something. You guys want to have a laugh? Go ahead,
What?
Ricky.
What?
Go on. Rick W. Griswold. Go get it. Come on. Guys, you're going to see Rick W. Griswold. Ryan's personality and Rick's knowledge and Leah's touch makes the show tick. Oh, make something happen. You guys are the best, says Ralph B. Yeah, Ralph, you can breed out of old hens. No problem. We might have a drink after the joke. We might have a drink after the joke. Here he is. This is Ricky Griswold. He's now wearing this around the village. This is his hat. Take your glasses off so they can really see how much of a weirdo you look like. There he is, guys.
Now, this hat here, I'm telling you.
Leah got you this for Christmas. And
There-
show them some of the different looks that it has, because you don't always wear it this way. What are some of the other ways you wear it? How did you do that, Ricky? How's the front? Well, oh yeah, you got your front like this.
Got that.
Yeah, that's if you
And then I can put this. I'm telling you, you feel weird.
feel weird.
When I went to the market the other day to buy groceries, I had a lot of people smiling at me, waving at me. And the girl that checked me out, she said, "I like your hat. It's very nice."
They let him out of the home, eh? You're all right, Ricky.
Yeah. No.
There's something wrong with you, but it is a nice hat. It keeps your head warm.
Oh, it's very nice. Oh,
Are you gonna wear that through the whole season this year?
I am.
You are. Hit the applause button. That was a pretty bad joke. He'll get better at them as they come. Yeah, Mike Green's gonna have a couple drinks for sure. Ralph B says, "You guys are the best." Daniel Herman hit the spot. Hit the applause. Okay, 2 hours and 26 minutes. We gave you guys the Christmas hoopla. Poor people on Facebook. They didn't know where we went. They thought we stiffed them. And I wonder how Tracy's doing with her birds. I haven't heard from her, so no news is good news.
Hopefully, she's got her fly pens and everything with a nice small wire. So
Yeah.
she started off. A lot of times, people starting off
I
with.
don't want to get into something else. I just
No,
wanted
I'm
to wrap
just
them.
saying. A lot of times, people starting off with birds, they get that chicken wire that's probably an inch or so round, and they think they got protection. And the next thing, they get a weasel comes in. Boom, done. And I think even a coon can maybe rip that stuff.
Done like
Like-
dinner.
Yeah, done. Like, oh man.
Hey, it was a good show. You guys have been great. This isn't the wrap up for this year because that's next week. Next week will be our last. Well, this is our last show of 2023.
Are we not going to have an all-nighter one time? Like we can start at 11 and quit at 7 in the morning?
Why? Like we could be like doing like a telethon. Hey guys, I'm not joking. He actually wears this hat out, eh?
No, I do. I went grocery shopping and everything else. I had a lot of people. I don't give a shit.
He's not about the looks. He's about the comfort. Incredible. Anyways, guys, that's Ricky.
Okay, all I'm going to say is life is like... It's like a roast.
That's a ham.
Like a ham roast.
We're going to turn that into sandwiches and soups. Enjoy your Christmas Eve or day evening.
No, it's day. Christmas
Day.
Day. It's 11 o'clock. Thanks for coming on.
We're going to wrap this up. We will see you guys again next week. I will be on tomorrow. We will do training with Ricky this week, so tune in for that. Again, like, share, and subscribe. And yes, you new guys, hey, those birds that are up for grabs right now are super. You will enjoy them. That's.
Oh, by the way, I want to ask one question.
I just want to
Where
wrap
is
this up.
Fred tonight?
I know where he is. He got drunk, then he had turkey, and he passed out. But if he's watching, hey Fred, you're always welcome here. And Fred, if you're feeling like you're getting the squirts, as Alan says, just have some peas. The canned peas or beans, it'll tighten you up. I actually like the hat. It looks like It looks super warm.
Oh, it is. God, man.
Daniel Herman is kissing ass.
Believe it or not, I put this on, I went
Oh.
to pigeon loft, and the friggin' pigeons
You-
were afraid of me.
Yeah, because he never wore it. Hey, wait. David Tracy says we should have a New Year's Eve party. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know.
Hey, listen, hold on.
You want to do a New
Oh,
Year's
wait.
Eve party?
Personal invitation. All you assholes
Are
are
welcome.
invited.
Right, we're gonna do a New Year's Eve party because David Tracy thought it was a good idea. We're gonna
meet.
meet right here.
How,
Well, there
those people
wasn't
are gonna
there
come-
Bean
How far-
Crosby and
how
what
far-
was the other guy's name who did the thing when the apple drops?
Oh,
We'll drop an egg.
Dick
Dick
Clark.
Dick Clark. Live and Ricky, we'll get you in different parts of the yard for New Year's. Like you'll be with the chickens. Ricky's with the chickens. You know what?
No, but I mean, these
We
people
can do
gotta
it.
come from a long way away.
Oh, we're gonna do it on the show, ding dong.
Oh, okay, okay.
We're not. What do you think? David Tracy's gonna come here, and Daniel Herman's gonna come here, and
Oh,
Ralph's
yeah,
gonna come
okay,
here.
I thought you were gonna come.
Oh, hey guys, we're not related. He was adopted. I'm Ryan. That's Ricky. That's Ricky. And that's Ricky.
Okay, take care. Thanks for coming. New Year's Day. Best. And always remember, keep your stick on the ice.
Keep your stick on the ice and enjoy your pigeons. And we'll see you guys this week
I found you.
from Facebook. But I get the notices on both. Thanks, Mike. Have a great night, guys. I'm going to hit the wrap up button. We're done. See you tomorrow. Thanks for flying with us. Have a great evening. Bye for now.